So behind me right now, you can see we've got 2 tents set up. We have the Coody Koala 7, that is a 12 by 16 tent right there. And we have the Coody Koala hub tent, that is a 12 by 12 with a 9-foot peak. Look at this, it is 28 degrees out here. Everything has icicles. If you haven't seen my unboxing and setup videos for this tent or this one over here, I highly suggest you go watch those. I just tested the Campgrounds M medium wood burning stove in there, and yeah, you can see that smoke just billowing out the stovepipe there. You'll have to go back and watch that video if you haven't seen it yet. That thing is a monster. But today we're going to do something that I have been waiting to do for so long. We are going to be connecting this tent over here, the Coody Koala 7, to this tent right here, the Coody Koala hub. We're going to open up these doors on this end, and we are going to connect them together with a piece that actually comes with the hub tent and zips around the perimeter of the door. And here's the really cool thing to keep in mind. This hub tent has 4 doors around it. So you can actually connect up to 4 more tents. So we're gonna get this thing connected in just a second here, but I wanna answer a question I've been getting a lot of lately. And that question is, when this tent is connected to this tent, will it warm the entire thing just having one stove going? And the answer is, I don't know yet, but I'm gonna find out today. So as soon as I get done filming this video, I'm gonna film that video with these 2 connected together, and I'm gonna run one stove and see if it heats up the entire thing. So when you connect these tents, the first thing you need to know is that this complete front door comes off of this one, this complete door comes off of this one. So I'm gonna go ahead and take off this panel on the Coody Koala 7, and you can see that we have that completely open now. This panel on the hub tent, I'm going to open up. Wow, you can feel the heat coming out of there already. I'm going to tie those back just like that. Same with the mesh. Tie those back as well. Wow, look at that fire going right there. You can just feel the heat billowing out of there. So like I said, this panel on the Coody hub will come off completely as well, but you do not have to take it off. I mean, you don't have to take this one off either if you just want to leave it there so you can have the door to open and close between. But this one opens up all the way as it is, and all we really need to do is connect the connector to this zipper right here. So leaving that panel in place and just opening it up does not occlude it at all. When you buy this tent, it does come with 1 connector. If you want more to connect other tents, you do have to go online and buy them from another company because RBM does not sell just the connectors on their own. This tent comes with a bag of accessories, including this connector right here, which is what we're going to put on right now. So like I said, there's a zipper that goes around the perimeter of this tent right here. It does not go along the bottom. There are 2 little zipper pulls that you have to locate along that zipper. Make sure that you have them on this side over here where you can see that part right there. Everybody's put on a pair of pants with a zipper, so everybody knows what that connector looks like. Then you get out your connector, take a look at your zipper, and this end here has that same connector on it. You can also see as we start to unfold it that it has these ropes on there. Those are also called guy lines. It's a very simple process. You're just going to connect those 2 ends of the zipper, zip it around the entire perimeter, and you'll see there are little Velcro swatches that you can connect around the edge here, all the way around the perimeter, and that connector is in place. That was quick and easy, and you can see that this is probably a little bit more than 2.5 feet wide. Like I said, we've got the guy lines here. I'm going to show you how to use those in just a minute. And we've also got a connector on the bottom here that we're able to pull this rope, and that goes around the perimeter, and that'll be able to tighten it on this tent here. So now that we've got that connected, the next thing we need to do is pull this tent right up snug against there. Now, I do not recommend doing this on concrete. If you do, make sure you put down a tarp first. I forgot to put one down, and now I have to pull it across the concrete. And if you ever do that, just be very careful because that can damage the bottom of your tent. That's a lot of friction right there to be pulling that across. Yeah, if you're doing that, don't just grab it and drag it all in one pull. Make sure you take your time, take it a little bit at a time. You don't want to damage your tent. So once you've got it up there, basically the next thing is just to take that big flap and drape it over the entrance to the other tent. Now you do have to go inside to get the peak up there pushed over on top of this tent correctly. And that's a 7-foot peak up there, so I actually had to pull it down a little bit, stick my other hand up and under, to get that out there. So now we've got the drape completely over the front end of this tent, and we need to secure it. So if you look at the bottom here, flip this over, you'll see there is a loop right here. You can actually use that to connect to a stake in the ground. We'll come back to that in just a minute. We've got these guy lines here. You can either stake those as well, or you can come down the tent here and you can actually connect it to this loop right here. Just unravel both of those, pull them back here, tie a slip knot there, and there you go. Same thing on the other side here. Pull that tight, tie a slip knot, and that is connected. Now, as far as this little cinch rope down here, you can pull this and it will tighten that around the perimeter of that tent. Only reason I'm not going to do that right now is because it would be pointless, because we don't have that bottom staked down. If we pull that rope, it's just going to pull that up. But other than that, you can see that we have the two tents connected. And if I pull this back, you can see where it does overlap this tent quite a bit. So there it is, all connected as one giant tent. Wow, that thing is huge. Now, before we go in, I do want to point out, this is the older version of the Coody Koala 7 that I have connected right here. You can see it does not have a back door. The newer version does have a back door, and if you want to see that one, you can go on my videos and check out the review of the black Coody Koala 7. But with that new version, if you had a door in the back here, you would have access to go in this way or that way, and if you did actually have 4 tents connected to the hub up here, you would still have a way to go in. All right, so I am just as excited as you are to go inside and see what it looks like in this monster. I may actually close this stove jack in a minute. I was thinking of moving the stove from this tent over to this one because I thought maybe with it being more centralized, it would heat it up better. But we will cross that bridge when we come to it. For now, let's go ahead and step inside here. Oh my gosh, I love this thing. This is just mind-blowing. It's difficult to show you just how big it actually is in here, but look at that. Wow. We got the hub tent here that's 12 by 12, a 9-foot peak. We step right inside of the Coody Koala 7, which is 12 by 16 with a 7-foot peak. I wish I could zoom out more, but look at this. Look how huge this tent is right here. Oh my gosh, this is just absolutely amazing, and I cannot wait to take this out for a field test. Absolutely enormous in here. There is so much space. I have camping videos up from both of these tents individually. The hub tent here and the Coody Koala 7, and both of them just alone are enormous. In this one here, I had the stove, I had 2 of these big chairs, a king-size bed, a table, a TV, and the Koala 7 is like a little cabin. We had our king-size bed back in here, we had tables on both ends, carpet throughout, our 2 big chairs over here, the stove over here, TV, all kinds of stuff. And connecting the Coody hub is just an absolute game changer. I'm right up against the wall here, and this is as far as I can possibly back up to show you just how huge it is in here. So I just realized I can open up this end here. So this is the far end of the Coody hub tent. And then as we step in, like I said, this area here, 12 by 12, you can see how big that is. And we just walk all the way through to the 12 by 16 Koala 7. Man, I am just absolutely blown away. Enormous 3-room tent. Guys, this connection brings this entire tent to 12 feet wide by 28 feet long. Look at how huge that thing is. 3 rooms, 12 by 28 feet long. This is one enormous tent. All right, well, there it is. You finally got to see it. Absolutely enormous tent. I highly recommend these Coody and RBM tents any day of the week. Make sure you go back and watch my video of testing out the Caminus M wood burning stove in the Coody hub, and make sure you stick around for testing out that same wood stove in this enormous tent here. See if we can get it to heat the whole thing with just one stove.